Okay, so today we're diving deep into a corner of the real estate world that's really generating some buzz lately.
Yeah.
It's the commercial market in Brownsburg, Indiana.
Oh,
And we're looking at this as of March 20th, 2025, so right up to the minute.
fresh data.
Yeah, and we've got some really interesting stuff to work with here. We've got this blog post from Cara Conde,
Okay.
and she's being described as like the top commercial real estate agent in Brownsburg.
Oh, wow. So she's in the thick of it.
Yeah, so she's giving us that on the ground view, but then we're also layering in, some actual property listings that we found,
Oh, cool.
broader real estate articles.
Context.
Yeah, it's like a multifaceted look.
Yeah, so we're not just getting one person's perspective. We're really getting a feel for what's happening on the ground.
Right, exactly. And you know what I love about these deep dives is that we could really help our listeners cut through the noise, regardless of, whether they're like seasoned real estate investors or just, kind of curious for what's happening.
Yeah.
We're going to give them the key insights.
Extract the signal from the noise.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to figure out why everyone's calling Brownsburg a commercial real estate goldmine.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Right, and we want to see what's actually driving this boom. What are the big trends? And then the things that anyone who's interested in this market should be paying attention to.
The must-knows.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So let's jump in.
let's get into it.
When you look at everything, what's the core reason why there's so much excitement about Brownsburg right now?
Well, I think it's a few things all coming together at the right time. You've got this strong economic backdrop. Hendricks County overall
Okay,
has a really healthy economic output.
I saw that 2.5 billion annually.
Yeah, that's from the Indiana Business Research Center, their 2024 numbers.
Wow.
And Brownsburg is really at the heart of that.
Okay, so it's not just like a rising tide lifting all boats. It's like Brownsburg is really a key player.
Yeah, they're definitely punching above their weight.
And I noticed that the local economy itself seems particularly strong in Brownsburg.
Yeah, super low unemployment rate there, only 2.8% as of March 2025.
Wow.
And to put that into perspective, the national average is like 3.7%.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is. And what that means for commercial real estate is you've got businesses that are way more confident about investing and expanding.
Makes sense.
When they know they can find workers,
Right.
that creates a stable tenant pool, drives up lease rates. It's all good news.
Yeah, and speaking of drawing businesses and location has got to be a big part of this story, right?
Oh, absolutely. Brownsburg's location is gold. It's right near where I-74 and I-65 intersect,
Ah.
which is perfect for logistics and distribution.
Okay.
And we're seeing that play out big time. Companies like FedEx, they've got a huge hub in Plainfield that's close by.
Right.
Amazon has a major fulfillment center.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's taking advantage of that connectivity, and there's this crazy story of a shipping company that snagged a 50,000 square foot warehouse in just 21 days.
What?
Yeah, just because of how easy it is to get on the highway from there.
21 days. That's like snapping your fingers.
Right, it shows you how hot the market is.
So we've got the logistics side booming, but it's not just warehouses, right? Retail seems to be doing pretty well, too.
Yeah, for sure. Brownsburg Square is a good example.
Yeah, that's a big one, 150,000 square feet.
Yeah, Kroger, Panera Bread, all the big names are there. And you have to look at the demographics, too.
Okay.
Median household income in Brownsburg is $85,000.
Wow.
That's up 5% since 2022.
That's significant, yeah.
Yeah, people have money to spend, and they're spending it locally.
And then there's this whole other layer with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, yeah, that's a unique factor, for sure.
300,000 visitors a year.
Yeah, imagine the spillover effect on Brownsburg.
Must be huge. I mean, I read about this one vendor who made 6 figures from a 2,000 square foot lot during a race weekend.
Oh, wow.
Just from a race weekend?
Yeah, that's the power of events like that.
So we've got strong economy, great location, a resilient retail sector. What else is feeding into this gold mine idea?
Well, you can't underestimate the quality of life in Brownsburg.
Oh, yeah.
It's consistently ranked as a top place to live. CNN Money gave it the nod.
I saw that.
The schools are fantastic, top 10% in Indiana A+ rating on niche.
Wow.
And then you've got the low crime rate. It's about 50% below the national average.
That's amazing.
And to top it all off, 200 acres of parks.
Yeah.
So it's not just about business, it's about living well.
I love that quote from the CPA who called it Mayberry with a turbocharger.
That's perfect, right?
Yeah, it really captures it.
Small town charm, but with this economic engine.
Okay, so we've got a good grasp on why Brownsburg is hot, but now let's get to the really interesting part.
Okay.
What are the trends that are shaping this market right now?
Well, the three big ones that we're seeing are the industrial explosion. It's becoming a real logistics frontier.
Okay,
And then there's this retail renaissance. It's Main Street meets modern retail.
interesting.
And then lastly, the office market is evolving in some pretty cool ways.
Okay, let's break those down. Let's start with this industrial boom. What's fueling that?
Well, e-commerce is a huge driver.
Of course.
The U.S. e-commerce market hit $1.1 trillion in 2024.
That's just massive.
Yeah, and all that online shopping needs a place to, store and ship from.
Fulfillment centers, warehouses.
Exactly, and that's where Brownsburg's location is a major advantage.
Okay.
You've got Northfield Business Park, for example. They leased a 300,000 square foot warehouse there
Wow.
for $850 a square foot. And get this was before they even broke ground.
Really?
Yeah, that's how much demand there is.
I imagine space is getting pretty tight in these industrial parks.
Oh, it's super tight. The vacancy rate in that area was just 2% in Q1 2025.
5%.
Yeah, CoStar's data, the park manager actually said they're out of space.
Wow. So if you're an investor, that's got to be music to your ears, right?
Oh, absolutely. Low vacancy means higher rents, potentially shorter vacancy periods between tenants.
Yeah.
It's good for cash flow.
And it has like there's potential for even more industrial development coming up.
Yeah, the rumor mill is churning. There's talk of a 100-acre industrial overlay that could be coming in June 2025.
Oh, wow. 100 acres.
Yeah, and the speculation is that this could boost land values by 25%.
So that's definitely something to watch.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, so industry is booming. What about this retail renaissance? What's happening there?
So it's this cool blend of the traditional Main Street vibe with what modern retailers and shoppers are looking for.
Okay.
We talked about Brownsburg Square, but there's also Brownsburg Station, which is another big development.
80,000 square feet, right?
Yeah, Starbucks, Aldi are there. And the vacancy rate is only 4%.
Wow, that's way lower than the national average.
Yeah, it is. The national average is like 6.5%.
So there's clearly a lot of demand.
Yeah, and we even have an example of a cafe owner who moved to Brownsburg Station, and their daily customers jumped from like 50 to 120.
That's a huge increase.
Yeah, these developments are really working.
And it seems like the town itself is putting effort into making the retail scene even more attractive.
For sure. They did those pedestrian upgrades on Green Street back in 2023.
Oh, yeah?
And foot traffic went up by 18%.
That's a great example of how public investment can really pay off.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this off-market stuff is really interesting to me.
Oh, yeah, that's where the real action is sometimes.
It seems like some of the best deals never even see the light of day.
Exactly. Cara Conde sold a 5,000 square foot retail shell completely off market
Wow.
in 12 days for 10% over asking.
It's a whole hidden market.
Yeah, you need those connections.
Okay, so we've got industrial going strong, retail is revitalizing. What about the office market? What's the story there?
So it's adapting to the whole hybrid work thing in some really interesting ways.
Yeah.
The Ronald Reagan Parkway corridor is becoming a hotspot.
Okay.
You've got these flex suites there, 2,000 to 5,000 square feet,
Okay.
and they're leasing for around $22 a square foot,
Okay.
which is actually lower than what you'd pay in downtown Indianapolis.
Really?
Yeah, the core office rates in Indy are more like $25 a square foot.
That's a pretty significant difference.
Yeah, so businesses can get similar quality space for less money.
And I bet the commute's a lot easier, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We even heard from a tech founder who said they downsized their office space but got a much better vibe by moving to Brownsburg.
So less space, but more quality.
Exactly. Easier commutes, less traffic stress.
That's a trade-off a lot of companies would be happy to make, I bet.
Yeah, for sure.
And infrastructure improvements are playing a role in this, too, right?
Oh, yeah, that big $100 million revamp of Ronald Reagan Parkway,
Mm-hmm.
that's boosted property values nearby by like 12%.
Wow, so that investment is really paying dividends.
Yeah, it signals that the area is on the rise.
And what about leasing activity? Is it keeping pace with everything else we talked about?
Oh, yeah, Cara Conde found a 3,000 square foot suite for a startup before it was even officially listed, and it was leased within a week.
Wow, so things are moving fast.
Yeah, the office market is definitely heating up.
Okay, so we know why Brownsburg is considered a hotspot, and we've looked at the big trends that are shaping things.
Mm-hmm.
But now let's get practical. What should investors be thinking about?
Okay.
Let's start with the buyers. What are the key things they should be focusing on?
Okay, so first, they need to understand the different types of properties in Brownsburg.
Okay.
Offices typically have leases from 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Rates are around $20 to $25 per square foot.
Okay.
Prime retail spots, especially on Green Street, are going for $25 to $28 a square foot.
Got it.
And industrial spaces, especially in the Northfield area, are around $7 to $9 per square foot.
Okay.
Now, Kara's advice is to blend short-term wins with long-term bets.
So diversify your portfolio.
Exactly. Think about immediate income and future appreciation.
And location within Brownsburg itself has got to be
Oh,
crucial.
it's huge. For retail, being near Brownsburg Square is key.
Yeah, they said something like 12,000 cars pass through there every day.
Yeah, that's a lot of eyeballs for industrial look around Northfield Drive.
Okay.
50% of that area was already leased by 2024. And for offices, Ronald Reagan Parkway is where it's at.
80% occupancy.
Yeah, strong demand. And here's a little scoop from Cara. A 10-acre parcel along I-74 is supposed to become available in Q3 2025.
Oh, wow.
So if you're a developer, that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, prime real estate, absolutely. Okay, so research location, research location, research look. But then there's the whole due diligence side of things.
Yeah, you can't skip that.
Absolutely.
Start with brownsburg.in.gov.
Okay.
Check out the zoning regulations, look at the FEMA flood maps. And Cara really stresses the importance of working with a local expert.
Yeah.
Someone like her who knows the ins and outs of the market.
They can help you avoid potential pitfalls.
Exactly. And they can give you insights into things like tenant pipelines, future developments.
It's like having an insider on your team.
Right. They pointed out that property values in Northfield jumped by 20% after some zoning changes.
Wow, so knowing the local rules can make a big difference.
Huge difference.
Okay, so that's a lot of great advice for buyers. But what about the sellers?
Okay.
What are the things they should be thinking about?
Presentation is key. You want to make your property as appealing as possible.
Okay.
For retail spaces, even something as simple as upgrading to LED signage can boost the number of offers you get by like 15%.
Really?
Yeah. For offices, open floor plans are in high demand.
Makes sense.
That can speed up the sale by as much as 30%.
Wow.
And for industrial properties, make sure the interior is spotless, especially the floors.
Okay.
That can add 10% to the value.
It's amazing how the little things can add up.
Yeah, details matter.
And there was something about using drone photography.
Oh, yeah, that's a great tip. Apparently, using drone shots in your marketing materials can help you sell a property 25% faster.
So it's all about creating that wow factor.
Exactly.
And timing must be important too. When's the best time to sell in Brownsburg?
Spring comes to be the sweet spot, April and May. You tend to get about 40% more bids then.
Okay.
December is the slowest time. About 35% fewer deals close then.
Interesting.
Kara's advice is to strike when wallets are open.
Makes sense.
People are feeling more optimistic in the spring.
Yeah, and when it comes to pricing, what's the best strategy?
Data. You got to look at recent comparable sales.
Okay.
For example, a 10,000 square foot warehouse sold for $1.8 million in January 2025.
Okay.
And a 2,000 square foot retail space went for $450,000 in February 25.
Got it.
Cara emphasizes the importance of getting a solid appraisal from a local expert.
Someone who really knows the market.
Exactly.
So whether you're buying or selling, it seems like having that deep local knowledge is essential.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us to Cara Conde herself.
The X factor, as they call her.
Yeah, what makes her so special?
What sets her apart?
Well, first off, she's a Brownsburg native, born and raised.
Oh, wow.
So she knows the area inside and out.
Yeah, she's seen it all.
Exactly. And she's got the credentials to back it up. She's a certified negotiation expert,
Okay.
a luxury home marketing specialist, and she's been in the business for 15 years.
So she's got the experience.
Yeah, she's not a rookie, and there are some great stories about her successes.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about those.
So there was this industrial plot on Northfield Drive.
Okay.
And Cara noticed a utility easement issue that no one else had caught.
Oh, wow.
Her client ended up getting the property for $50,000 less than the asking price.
That's a steal.
And then they flipped it a couple of years later for a huge profit.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's got a knack for spotting those hidden gems. Then there was this Main Street storefront that had been sitting on the market forever.
Okay.
Cara suggested some curb appeal improvements, and it sold in 27 days for 20% over asking.
Wow, so she's got the magic touch.
Yeah, she knows how to make a property shine.
And it sounds like she uses a really data-driven approach.
Oh yeah, she's all about the data. She uses CoStar analytics.
Okay.
She's even developed her own custom valuation models.
Wow.
And then she's got this incredible network of contacts.
Okay.
Town officials, business leaders, other real estate pros. She knows everyone.
So she's plugged in.
Yeah, big time. And she's really good at spotting trends early on, like that industrial overlay we talked about. She saw that coming by digging into the town's 2040 comprehensive plan.
So she's thinking ahead.
Yeah, always. And the proof is in the pudding, right?
What do you mean?
98% of her 2024 reviews on Zillow were positive.
Wow, that's almost perfect.
Yeah, and she closed $12 million worth of deals since 2023.
So she's definitely the real deal.
Oh yeah, she's a top performer for sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but our source material also has this People Also Ask section, which is always super helpful because it addresses those common questions that people have.
Yeah, let's tackle those.
So the first one is about the types of commercial properties that are available in Brownsburg.
Okay, so it looks like there's a good mix.
Okay.
You've got your Main Street offices. They're usually between 1,500 and 5,000 square feet.
Okay.
Then there are those big warehouses in Northfield starting at 50,000 square feet.
Got it.
Retail spaces and developments like Brownsburg Station, 2,000 to 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
And even undeveloped land along I-74, parcels range from 10 to 100 acres.
That's a lot of options.
Yeah, and Cara mentioned an exclusive listing coming soon is a 20,000 square foot property.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, so what about investment potential? What are people asking about that?
So the answer really reinforces why Brownsburg is so attractive.
Okay.
Property values are growing at a steady 8% year over year.
Wow.
The overall vacancy rate is super low at 4%.
That's incredible.
And of course, you've got the Indianapolis metro area right there, 1.5 million people.
Yeah. Huge potential customer base.
And as proof, Cara closed $10 million worth of commercial deals just last year.
So the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, she's got the track record to prove it.
Now, this is a question I know a lot of people have. How do you find the best commercial real estate agent in Brownsburg?
Well, local expertise is paramount. You need someone who knows the market like the back of their hand.
Yeah,
Strong negotiation skills are crucial too.
makes sense.
And a proven track record of success, that's where Cara really shines.
15 years of experience in Brownsburg.
Yeah, it's got that local knowledge.
Just super high client satisfaction ratings.
Yeah, people love working with her. And they're saving money too.
How much?
On average, her clients save about $50,000 per deal.
Wow, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah, it pays to have a pro on your side.
Okay, so let's talk about cost. What are people looking at in terms of price?
So if you're leasing office or retail space, expect to pay between $20 and $28 per square foot.
Okay,
Industrial space is more affordable, $7 to $9 per square foot.
got it.
For buying retail properties are going for $150 to $200 per square foot.
Okay,
And industrial properties are around $100 to $130 per square foot.
got it. So those are some good benchmarks.
Yeah, and Cara's got a free market report that breaks it all down in more detail.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it covers the first quarter of 2025.
So it's up to date?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, last question. How can someone like Cara actually help you with your commercial real estate needs in Brownsburg?
So she's not just a salesperson, she's an advisor.
Sure.
She's out there finding opportunities for her clients.
Hmm.
Like, she helped someone snag a retail property for $900,000.
Wow.
That was a great deal. And she's a tough negotiator. She knows how to get the best terms for her clients.
Okay.
And she's there to guide you through the whole process.
So she's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, she's your partner in navigating the Brownsburg market.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think it's clear that Brownsburg is in the midst of a serious commercial real estate boom.
Yeah.
You've got a strong economy, a strategic location, and ongoing development.
It's a perfect storm.
Yeah, everything's aligned.
For anyone listening who's now super intrigued by Brownsburg, what would you recommend they do next?
I think it's time to start digging deeper, explore the market,
Yeah.
connect with local experts like Cara Conde.
Get those boots on the ground.
Exactly. There's no substitute for firsthand knowledge.
So here's a final thought for everyone to ponder.
Okay?
Given Brownsburg's success, what other suburban markets might be on the verge of a similar boom? And what are the clues that you would look for to spot those emerging hotspots?
That's a great question.
It's something to keep in mind as you're out there exploring the real estate world.
F.
Thanks for joining us today.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.